Hi, welcome to Inspire Leadership, Tragedy to Triumph, where I help you turn lemons into lemonade. Come on in. Hi, welcome. Welcome. I'm your host, Ingrid Johnson. Welcome to Inspired Leadership, Tragedy to Triumph. How you doing today? Listen, I'm glad to have you with me. Hey, today we're going to talk about fairness. Yes, we've talked about a lot of things to help people along their journey, whether you're looking for that new job, looking for personal change, adventure, hey, growth and development. I gotcha. And now I want to get to like fairness. Ooh, it starts with us, right? Change is difficult. We're always looking for other people to make things happen for us. But I'm all about turning lemons into lemonade and coaching folks and mentoring them on how to make change happen for you. When you get on board, others can trust you and get on board. They'll see where you're headed and see value in you as a person. They'll see you as a person they should rub elbows with and get to know more, right? And hey, you never know. That might be that networking opportunity that gets you to the next level of living. So I'm going to take a second to talk to you today about fairness. Why don't you just take a breath and think, how old were you when you first realized that you experienced some form of injustice? Huh. How old? Young, school aged, adult? Was your world perfect as far as you were concerned? Did other people bridge the gap in your life? So it wasn't until you became a full adult that you experienced your first brush with injustice? Hmm. Well, we learned early on that life is not fair. At least we should have. Everything doesn't go the way we want it to go. And in the workplace, we tend to feel true injustice. We have an opinion, and we should have an opinion. Doesn't make us right all the time. Take it from me. But we do have an opinion. We look at money and competition and our pride, right? We have petty fights sometimes with others or argue with them based on what we perceive to be going on. And some things are very valid concerns that we have, right? And so when others are promoted, and hey, maybe not me, or that boss person is not too competent, how in the world did they get the job? There's a lot of people who think like that, right? But there may be some things about the person you don't know. Maybe your comments are unfair. Fair decisions, hopefully, are made in the appropriate manner based on some set of criteria. So, if we can get to know the criteria that's used to make the decision, we can better assess whether we or a group of people or a situation was handled as fair as possible. Now, remember, there's no perfect world, right? So, in general, a fair result is one in which the people feel that they received what they was due and what they deserve. Now, listen, some of us think more highly of ourselves than we ought. We don't want to look at our areas that are in need of improvement. And we definitely don't want to know or recognize that folks see us when we're gossiping with others, whether it's in our personal life or professional lives, right? We really need to do that proper assessment of ourselves before we call others out on being unfair and unreasonable. But some argue that true fairness is equality, that each person receives equal share of benefits. All right? And the burdens, the good and the bad and the ugly. So it's your turn, right? Oh, darn. You got the good hand last week. It's my turn to get the good hand. That kind of stuff, right? But there should be criteria that we understand. Well, how did you win that game? How did you win that hand? What did you do? What are the rules of engagement, right? Huh. Maybe we should work on minimizing our personal shortcomings. You think that may help? Yeah, work on yourself. First, before you work on yourself, you have to speak truth to yourself. So that evaluation period, you must weigh and evaluate all information that you have. You got to be able to separate facts from opinions and opinions from speculation. Yes. When I mentor folks, they hate some of them to even come my way because I'm going to dig for the facts. They're like, well, what does it matter? I said Mary did this to me. Well, it does matter. You want me to be swayed by what you say. Where are the facts? Let me see if I can arrive at my own understanding based on digging in for the facts. Then I can understand the added information, your perspective, someone else's. Because all you want me to do is punish the person because of what you say and what you blame them. But quite often, after investigating, I have found that people are not truthful. They do not share what their contribution was to the situation. And that's really upsetting. So, principles of fairness, right? Huh? Principles of fairness. So fairness can require the following, right? That we treat all people equitably based on their merit and abilities to handle all essentially similar situations with consistency. We make all decisions on and using appropriate criteria without undue favoritism and improper prejudice. Never blame and punish people for what they did not do. Avoid that like the plague. Oh my gosh. And appropriately sanction those who violate the obligations that are moral or the laws. Come on, promptly and voluntarily correct personal and institutional mistakes in inappropriateness. Come on, not taking unfair advantage of people's mistakes or ignorance. Stop playing on the person you know didn't even know what was going on. Come on, that's not fair. That's not professional, right? And fully consider the rights and the interests and perspectives of all stakeholders. They're trusting you to be fair as a leader. They're trusting you to take all this stuff into consideration. They feel like you get paid to do the job. And even if you're not paid for what you do, if that's your role, that you're the leader, you're the person that people turn to, then yes, that expectation fits you too. It's not about the money, whether you're paid or not. It's about the role as a leader. It's about the trust, building those trusting relationships. Yes, yes, and yes. Now, you may be wondering, now, where in the world is she getting all of this from? Well, there is a site for Josephson's Institute's Exemplary Leadership and Business Ethics. And so you see, I don't just go by what Ingrid thinks. I research and add to my knowledge and education and training and leadership to try to help others. Hey, I don't want to get antiquated and pass on bad information or treat people unfairly because I lack the knowledge and know how as to what is appropriate. No, I don't want to fall into that. And no, I don't want to take the side of the person who speaks the loudest. Just because you're screaming and shouting the loudest doesn't make you right. Doesn't make you right. And it is unfair. It's even a greater injustice to already have an injustice happen to someone. And then I come along and just add misery to the situation. All right. So please, I hope you learn from this example today. And I'm sure you can think about many times, if you live long enough, unfortunately, that you've been subjected to some unfair situations. But let's briefly talk about more than the unfair situation is how do you handle it, right? Always maintain a positive attitude. Now, you may find that difficult to do when you're being treated unfairly, but believe in yourself. If you believe in you and you know you're not the bank robber, you know you're not capable of doing these nasty things that people say, then you should be able to more swiftly brush it off and put the commentary into perspective. So you could say something like, wow, I truly understand that you believe that I did that, or you believe my actions were grossly unfair, even possibly negligent. I so apologize if I offended you or if I did something wrong, but I was unaware of that. But please tell me what part of what I did or said affected you negatively. And then once you ask that question, you have to ensue with active listening. You really have to listen. And you really have to be prepared to search yourself based on the information you're hearing. And it may require to look into a rule book that the organization has or something in your home you created. Maybe it's no longer applicable, the rule book. Maybe it wasn't unfair in the past, but it's unfair and unreasonable today. Change can be difficult, but we can do this. We can change. We can use our minds. We can be fair and reasonable to others. And we could stop using negative, unfair situations as roadblocks to someone else's success. Hey, stop raining on the other person's parade. You remember that saying? Yes, be the sunshine in the room. Ha! Try that. Try smiling, being happy. Get some sleep at night. Come prepared for the challenges of life. Expect them to come, but also expect that others are relying on you to know how to properly address their concerns. And you know what I'm learning a lot about? People won't come to you if for some reason, any reason, they don't trust you or they don't trust the organization. And when you're faced with that, when you hear that, don't just get upset about it because you should be upset, but be prepared to roll up your sleeves, approach people with honesty and integrity, and look to solve the real issue, not the one that they're slamming in your face, because that may not be it. Oftentimes, that's not it. You have to peel back the onion to really get down to what the real issue is. The issues of life can be deep. People often place their issues upon someone else. And so you have to be careful. Walk cautiously, but walk intentionally to be a peacekeeper, a problem solver, a great communicator, and be a cheerleader for the success of others. If you walk with that, I think that if you do good, goodness will follow you. If you're fair to others, I'm hopeful that fairness will follow and be attracted to you. So now, thank you for joining me today. Again, I'm your host, Ingrid Johnson. I could be reached on social media. Ingrid Inspires is my brand, and I look forward to seeing you the next time. And so look at not only Facebook, Instagram, but YouTube. And until next time, be well.